Welcome, intrepid explorers of the eerie and the unknown, to Whispers in the Dark, your premier destination for spine-chilling tales and haunted histories. Here, we delve deep into the shadowy corners of the world, where whispers of the past echo through time and the supernatural lingers just beyond the veil of our everyday reality. Today, we embark on a chilling journey through one of the most majestic yet mysterious regions in North America, the Rocky Mountains. Known for their breathtaking peaks, serene wilderness, and untamed beauty, these mountains are also home to some of the most haunted places you will ever encounter. In this two-part series, we will explore the dark side of the Rockies' charm, peeling back the layers of legend and lore that shroud its towering summits and hidden valleys. This first installment sets the stage for an unforgettable dive into the supernatural. We'll uncover the chilling legends behind some of the Rocky Mountains' most infamous locations, where history and horror collide in ways that defy explanation. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, prepare to have your curiosity piqued and your courage tested as we venture into the unknown. So grab your flashlight, keep your wits about you, and join us as we step into the shadows of the Rocky Mountains. Let the whispers begin. The Rocky Mountains stretch over 3,000 miles from the northernmost part of British Columbia in Canada to New Mexico in the southwestern United States. This vast expanse is not only a haven for nature enthusiasts, but also a treasure trove of ghostly tales and haunted histories. The isolation and rugged terrain of the Rockies have long been a refuge for those seeking solitude, but they have also become a sanctuary for spirits unwilling, or unable, to move on. From abandoned mining towns frozen in time to grand hotels with tragic pasts, the stories embedded in the Rockies are as diverse as they are haunting. These narratives span centuries, encompassing Native American legends, pioneer struggles, and modern-day mysteries. Each tale adds another layer to the rich tapestry of the supernatural that blankets the region like a thick fog rolling in from the valleys. As we traverse these haunted landscapes, we'll encounter places where the air feels heavier, where the silence is punctuated by inexplicable sounds, and where shadows seem to take on lives of their own. It's a realm where the boundary between the living and the dead blurs, inviting us to question what lies beyond the edge of perception. So buckle up, dear viewers, as we embark on this spectral odyssey through the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Together, we will uncover the secrets that lie hidden beneath the snow-capped peaks and within the depths of ancient forests. Are you ready to face the ghosts of the Rockies? Let's begin our ascent into the haunted heights. The Stanley Hotel, a grand stage for ghostly encounters perched majestically at the gateway to Colorado's Rocky Mountain National Park, the Stanley Hotel stands as both an architectural marvel and a legendary hotspot for paranormal activity. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, inventor of the Stanley Steamer automobile, this iconic establishment has long attracted visitors with its opulent design, sweeping views, and storied history. Yet beneath its elegant facade lies a darker narrative, one that has earned it a reputation as one of the most haunted hotels in the world. Its spectral allure was immortalized in Stephen King's The Shining, which drew inspiration from the hotel's eerie atmosphere and unexplained phenomena. For those who dare to stay within its walls, the Stanley Hotel offers more than just luxury accommodations. It promises an encounter with the supernatural. The hotel's haunted legacy begins with its founder, F.O. Stanley, whose spirit is said to linger in the halls he once walked. Guests and staff alike report sightings of a distinguished gentleman in a vintage suit, believed to be Stanley himself, roaming the corridors late at night. His presence is often accompanied by the faint scent of pipe tobacco, a nod to his well-documented habit, and the sound of footsteps echoing through empty hallings. Some claim to feel an icy chill when passing through certain areas of the hotel, particularly near room 217, where Stanley is rumored to spend much of his afterlife. While his apparition may evoke curiosity rather than fear, other entities residing within the hotel are far less benign. Among the most infamous spirits is that of Elizabeth Wilson, a housekeeper who met a tragic end during a thunderstorm in the early 20th century. Struck by lightning while working in room 217, Elizabeth miraculously survived but bore scars, both physical and emotional, that remained with her until her death decades later. Her spirit is now said to haunt the very room where the accident occurred, manifesting as a kind but mischievous presence. Visitors staying in room 217 frequently report objects moving on their own, lights flickering without explanation, and the sensation of being watched. More unsettling are accounts of disembodied voices whispering greetings or warnings, as if Elizabeth herself were welcoming, or warning, her temporary roommates. But Elizabeth's ghost is not alone in her spectral residency. The Stanley Hotel is home to a veritable cast of characters, each contributing to its reputation as a paranormal playground. Children's laughter echoes through the fourth floor, despite no children being present, leading many to believe that the spirits of young siblings who once lived there still frolic in their eternal youth. In the ballroom, musicians claim to hear phantom melodies drifting through the air, remnants of long-forgotten parties that continue to play out in the ether. Even the hotel's basement, a labyrinthine network of storage rooms and mechanical systems, is rumored to harbor malevolent forces. Staff members have reported tools vanishing without explanation, equipment malfunctioning spontaneously, and an overwhelming sense of dread that permeates the space. Perhaps the most compelling evidence of the hotel's haunted status comes from the countless investigations conducted by paranormal researchers. One particularly harrowing incident involved a team member who felt an invisible hand grasp her shoulder in the middle of the night, leaving behind a distinct impression of cold fingers even after she fled the room. For guests seeking a taste of the supernatural, the Stanley Hotel offers guided ghost tours and overnight stays designed to immerse visitors in its haunted history. Participants gather in dimly lit parlors to hear tales of tragedy and triumph, then venture into the bowels of the building to experience firsthand the strange energies that pulse through its foundation. Many leave with stories of their own, whispers heard in empty halls, doors slamming shut on their own, or fleeting glimpses of figures standing just beyond the reach of lamplight. Yet, whether these encounters stem from genuine hauntings or overactive imaginations, the Stanley Hotel ensures that every visitor departs with a newfound appreciation for the thin veil separating the living from the dead. What sets the Stanley apart from other haunted locations is its seamless blend of luxury and the macabre. Unlike dilapidated ruins or decrepit mansions, this grand hotel continues to operate as a thriving business, welcoming thousands of guests each year. Its polished surfaces and plush furnishings create a stark contrast to the chilling tales whispered within its walls, making the juxtaposition all the more unsettling. To walk through the Stanley is to straddle two worlds, the tangible splendor of its architecture and the intangible weight of its haunted history. For those brave enough to visit, the Stanley Hotel serves as a reminder that beauty and terror can coexist in the same space. It challenges us to confront the unknown, to listen for the whispers of those who came before, and to acknowledge the lingering presence of spirits who refuse to let go. Whether you arrive seeking luxury or seeking thrills, one thing is certain: at the Stanley Hotel, you are never truly alone. The Goldfield Hotel, echoes of tragedy in a deserted landmark nestled amidst the arid expanse of Nevada's high desert, the Goldfield Hotel stands as a crumbling monument to a bygone era of prosperity and despair. Once the crown jewel of Goldfield, a bustling mining town that boomed during the early 20th century, the hotel now looms as a skeletal relic of ambition and tragedy. Its grand opening in 1908 marked the pinnacle of the town's success, drawing wealthy prospectors, politicians, and socialites eager to bask in the opulence of its gilded interiors. Yet beneath its glittering surface lay a dark undercurrent of exploitation, violence, and untimely deaths that would forever stain its legacy. Today, the Goldfield Hotel is widely regarded as one of the most haunted places in the Rocky Mountain region, a site where the spirits of its tumultuous past refuse to fade. The hotel's descent into infamy began almost as soon as it opened its doors. Designed to rival the finest establishments of its time, the Goldfield Hotel boasted luxuries unheard of in such a remote location: electricity, telephones, and even an Otis elevator. But its grandeur masked a seedier reality. The hotel quickly became a hub for illicit activities, including gambling, prostitution, and organized crime. Stories abound of backroom deals struck in shadowy corners, while whispers of corruption and betrayal echoed through its halls. One particularly chilling tale centers around a young woman named Elizabeth, whose tragic fate has become synonymous with the hotel's haunted reputation. According to local lore, Elizabeth was the mistress of a wealthy mine owner who kept her confined to room 109, allegedly chaining her to a radiator to ensure her fidelity. When she became pregnant, her lover reportedly murdered her and her unborn child, disposing of their bodies in the hotel's basement. Though no definitive records exist to confirm this account, the legend persists, fueled by numerous reports of paranormal activity linked to room 109. Visitors describe hearing anguished cries emanating from the space, accompanied by the rattling of chains and the sensation of being pulled toward the wall where the radiator once stood. Others claim to see the apparition of a distraught woman clutching her abdomen, her eyes filled with sorrow and rage. Beyond Elizabeth's ghost, the Goldfield Hotel harbors countless other spirits said to roam its decaying corridors. Miners who perished in nearby tunnels are believed to haunt the lower levels, their apparitions appearing as shadowy figures clad in dusty overalls. Guests exploring the basement have reported encountering a man in a tattered suit, his face obscured by darkness, who vanishes when approached. Meanwhile, the hotel's upper floors resonate with the sounds of phantom revelry, laughter, clinking glasses, and music spilling from empty banquet halls, as though the ghosts of Goldfield's heyday continue to celebrate long after the party ended. Paranormal investigators have flocked to the Goldfield Hotel, drawn by its reputation as a paranormal gold mine. Using advanced technology, researchers have documented compelling evidence of supernatural phenomena within its walls. Thermal imaging cameras capture dramatic temperature fluctuations, particularly in areas associated with violent deaths. Several teams have reported experiencing physical manifestations during their investigations, being pushed, scratched, or choked by unseen forces. One investigator claimed to feel a pair of hands gripping his throat so tightly that he could barely breathe, only for the sensation to vanish moments later. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Goldfield Hotel remains a magnet for thrill-seekers and urban explorers. Though officially closed to the public due to structural instability, trespassers frequently sneak onto the property under cover of darkness, armed with flashlights and cameras. Those who make it inside describe an atmosphere thick with unease, where every creak of the floorboards and groan of rusted metal seems amplified. Shadows dance unpredictably along the walls, and the air carries a pervasive stench of decay. Many report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as though the building itself is alive and aware of their presence. What makes the Goldfield Hotel uniquely terrifying is its ability to evoke primal fears. The sheer isolation of its location amplifies the sense of vulnerability, while its crumbling state serves as a constant reminder of mortality. To stand within its rotting walls is to confront the fragility of human endeavor and the inevitability of decay. Yet, amidst the terror lies a poignant reflection on the cyclical nature of life and death. The hotel may be abandoned, but it is far from empty. Its halls teem with memories, regrets, and unresolved grievances, ensuring that the voices of its victims will never be silenced. For those who dare to visit, the Goldfield Hotel offers a sobering glimpse into the darker side of ambition and greed. It challenges us to consider the cost of progress and the scars left behind by unchecked exploitation. As you tread cautiously through its haunted halls, remember, the echoes you hear may belong not only to the dead but also to the living, urging us to learn from the mistakes of the past. At the Goldfield Hotel, history does not merely haunt, it demands to be remembered. The mysterious lights of Brown Mountain, a luminous enigma deep within the dense forests of North Carolina's Pisgah National Forest, an enigmatic phenomenon has baffled scientists, locals, and paranormal enthusiasts for over a century. Known as the Brown Mountain Lights, these mysterious glowing orbs have been spotted hovering above the jagged ridges of Brown Mountain, defying explanation and sparking countless theories about their origin. Described as reddish-orange glows that dance across the horizon, the lights appear sporadically, often vanishing as quickly as they materialize. Their unpredictable nature and eerie luminosity have cemented their place in the annals of the unexplained, earning them comparisons to otherworldly apparitions and extraterrestrial activity. Yet, nestled within the folklore of the region are tales that transcend scientific inquiry, suggesting that these lights are not merely natural anomalies but manifestations of something far more sinister. The earliest recorded accounts of the Brown Mountain Lights date back to the Cherokee Nation, whose oral traditions speak of the lights as omens of impending doom. According to legend, the glowing orbs are the spirits of warriors slain in battle, eternally searching for peace or vengeance. One particularly haunting tale tells of a fierce conflict between two rival tribes that culminated in a massacre atop Brown Mountain. The victors, overcome with remorse, buried their fallen enemies beneath the earth, vowing to honor their memory. However, the spirits of the slain refused to rest, rising from their graves as fiery specters to haunt the mountain and its surroundings. Locals claim that on nights when the lights are most active, faint war chants can be heard echoing through the forest, accompanied by the acrid smell of smoke and as European settlers arrived in the region, the lights took on new interpretations, blending indigenous myths with colonial superstitions. One enduring story revolves around a young woman named Belinda, who lived in a small cabin near the base of the mountain. Beloved by her community, Belinda fell victim to a tragic love triangle involving two men who vied for her affection. When jealousy turned deadly, one suitor allegedly murdered the other before fleeing into the wilderness. Consumed by guilt, Belinda climbed to the summit of Brown Mountain, where she set herself ablaze in a final act of penance. Since then, her ghost is said to manifest as one of the lights, her ethereal form drifting aimlessly across the sky. Witnesses describe seeing a solitary orb pulsating with a soft, golden hue, believed to be Belinda's spirit searching for absolution. Modern interpretations of the Brown Mountain lights lean heavily on scientific explanations, ranging from atmospheric conditions to bioluminescent fungi. Yet, even the most rational theories fail to account for the light's uncanny behavior and the chilling encounters reported by those who have ventured too close. Hikers traversing the trails at dusk often recount spotting the orbs descending from the ridges, their movements eerily deliberate. Some claim the lights follow them, maintaining a fixed distance no matter how fast they run. Others report hearing disembodied whispers or feeling an icy breeze brushing against their skin as the orbs pass overhead. On rare occasions, the lights are said to transform into humanoid shapes, their glowing silhouettes resembling hooded figures cloaked in shadow. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to the mystery of the Brown Mountain lights, conducting extensive studies in hopes of unraveling their secrets. Equipped with thermal cameras, electromagnetic field detectors, and audio recording devices, research teams have captured intriguing anomalies that suggest the lights possess an intelligence of their own. Thermal imaging footage reveals heat signatures inconsistent with known natural phenomena, while EVP recordings pick up fragmented phrases spoken in languages unfamiliar to contemporary ears. One particularly compelling piece of evidence emerged during a nighttime expedition in 2015, when a team captured video footage of multiple lights converging into a single orb before splitting apart again, a display reminiscent of synchronized choreography. Despite advances in technology, the true nature of the Brown Mountain lights remains elusive, fueling speculation that they may be connected to interdimensional portals or residual energy from ancient rituals. Some researchers propose that the lights serve as gateways to alternate realms, allowing entities from beyond our plane of existence to briefly cross over. Others argue that they are manifestations of collective trauma, generated by centuries of warfare, displacement, and suffering. Whatever their source, the lights continue to captivate and terrify those who witness them, serving as a reminder of the vast unknown that lies just beyond the edges of human understanding. For those brave enough to seek out the Brown Mountain lights, the experience is both exhilarating and unnerving. The journey requires navigating treacherous terrain under the cover of darkness, with only the faint glow of the orbs to guide the way. As you ascend the mountain, the air grows colder, carrying with it the faint scent of ozone. Shadows seem to stretch unnaturally, and the forest falls silent, as though holding its breath. When the lights finally appear, they command your undivided attention, their hypnotic glow pulling you deeper into the mystery. But beware, many who have pursued them too closely report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as though the lights themselves are aware of their presence and disapprove. What sets the Brown Mountain lights apart from other paranormal phenomena is their ability to evoke wonder and fear in equal measure. They challenge us to question the boundaries of reality and the limits of our perception. Are they remnants of a forgotten past trapped between worlds? Or are they harbingers of something far greater, something we are not yet ready to comprehend. One thing is certain: the lights of Brown Mountain are not mere illusions. They are alive, in their own inexplicable way, beckoning us to look closer, listen harder, and embrace the unknown. And should you find yourself standing beneath their glow, remember, the mountain knows your name, and the lights remember why you came. The town that time forgot, St. Elmo's haunting silence tucked away in the rugged expanse of Colorado's Sawatch Range lies St. Elmo, a ghost town frozen in time, where the echoes of a bygone era reverberate through its weathered streets and abandoned buildings. Once a thriving hub of mining activity during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, St. Elmo now stands as a haunting testament to the boom and bust cycle that defined the American West. What remains today is a surreal tableau of preserved structures, general stores, saloons, and cabins that seem to have been plucked directly from the pages of history. Yet, beneath its picturesque exterior lies a darker truth. St. Elmo is not entirely abandoned. Reports of paranormal activity suggest that the spirits of its former inhabitants linger, tethered to the town by unfinished business, unresolved grief, or sheer attachment to the land they once called home. St. Elmo's rise began in 1880, when gold and silver deposits were discovered in the surrounding mountains. Within a few short years, the town swelled to a population of over 2,000 residents, boasting amenities like a schoolhouse, a church, and even a newspaper. Miners worked tirelessly in the nearby shafts, extracting precious metals that fueled dreams of wealth and prosperity. But as quickly as fortunes were made, they were lost. By the early 1920s, the mines had dried up, and the railroad ceased operations, leaving St. Elmo virtually deserted. The few families who remained eventually moved on, leaving behind a ghost town that would become a magnet for curious visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Today, St. Elmo is one of the best-preserved ghost towns in the United States, attracting tourists eager to step back in time. Yet, for those who dare to explore its quiet streets after dark, the experience takes on a decidedly eerie tone. Accounts of strange occurrences abound, ranging from disembodied voices calling out names to the sound of phantom footsteps echoing through empty buildings. One of the most commonly reported phenomena involves the old general store, where items on shelves are said to rearrange themselves overnight. Employees tasked with maintaining the site have found merchandise scattered across the floor, despite having locked up securely the night before. Some claim to see shadowy figures darting between aisles, their forms dissolving into mist when approached. The town's haunted reputation extends beyond its commercial district to its residential areas, where the spirits of former residents are believed to reside. Among the most prominent is that of Annabelle Belle Stark, the daughter of one of St. Elmo's original settlers. Belle, described as a vivacious young woman with a passion for life, tragically died under mysterious circumstances in the early 1900s. Her exact cause of death remains unknown, though some speculate foul play or illness. Regardless of the truth, her spirit is said to haunt the Stark family cabin, located near the center of town. Visitors report feeling an inexplicable warmth radiating from the hearth, even though no fire has burned there in decades. Others describe seeing a translucent figure sitting by the window, gazing wistfully at the mountains she once loved. Not all of St. Elmo's spectral residents are as benevolent as Belle. The town's mining history casts a long shadow, with tales of accidents, betrayals, and violent disputes that claimed countless lives. One particularly chilling legend centers around the miner's curse, a hex allegedly placed on the town by a disgruntled prospector who lost everything in a rigged card game. Before taking his own life, the man vowed revenge, cursing the land and its people to eternal unrest. Paranormal investigators visiting St. Elmo have documented numerous instances of malevolent activity, including sudden drops in temperature, unexplained power outages, and feelings of oppressive dread. Several teams have reported capturing EVP recordings of angry voices shouting threats or sobbing uncontrollably, adding credence to the belief that the curse still holds sway. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of St. Elmo's haunting is its seasonal intensity. During the winter months, when heavy snowfall isolates the town from the outside world, reports of paranormal activity spike dramatically. Locals tell of ghostly apparitions wandering the streets, their frostbitten faces illuminated by the pale glow of moonlight. The sound of wagon wheels creaking through the snow can sometimes be heard, though no vehicle has traveled these roads in nearly a century. Some claim to see the silhouette of a lone rider galloping through the night, his horse rearing as if startled by unseen forces. These wintry visions lend an added layer of desolation to an already haunting landscape, transforming St. Elmo into a frozen purgatory where the past refuses to thaw. For those who choose to brave the elements and explore St. Elmo after dark, the experience is both mesmerizing and unnerving. The absence of modern distractions, the hum of electricity, the glow of streetlights, creates a profound sense of isolation, heightening every sound and shadow. As you wander through the town, the crunch of your boots on gravel seems deafening, breaking the otherwise impenetrable silence. Windows reflect your movements like ghostly mirrors, while the wind carries whispers that seem to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. It is easy to imagine the town springing back to life, miners emerging from their cabins, children playing in the streets, and shopkeepers hawking their wares. But just as quickly, the illusion shatters, leaving you alone with the realization that St. Elmo belongs to the dead. What makes St. Elmo uniquely compelling is its dual identity as both a historical landmark and a paranormal hotspot. Unlike other ghost towns that have succumbed to decay, St. Elmo retains much of its original charm, offering visitors a tangible connection to the past. Yet, this preservation comes at a cost. The spirits of its former inhabitants remain trapped in a perpetual loop of nostalgia and longing. They cling to the fragments of their lives, unable, or unwilling, to let go. For those who listen closely, their stories unfold in subtle ways. The faint jingle of a bell, the creak of a floorboard, or the distant echo of laughter carried on the breeze. To visit St. Elmo is to confront the fragility of human endeavor and the inevitability of obsolescence. It is a place where ambition gave way to abandonment, where dreams turned to dust, and where the living and the dead coexist in uneasy harmony. Whether viewed as a relic of the Old West or a portal to the supernatural, St. Elmo challenges us to reckon with the passage of time and the persistence of memory. As you leave its quiet streets behind, remember, the town may be silent, but its ghosts are not. They watch, they wait, and they remember. The old homestead mine, depths of despair and darkness beneath the craggy peaks of Colorado's San Juan Mountains lies the old homestead mine, a labyrinthine network of tunnels carved into the earth by desperate hands seeking fortune in the unforgiving wilderness. Once a beacon of hope for prospectors during the late 19th century silver rush, the mine now stands as a grim monument to greed, loss, and the horrors that unfold when humanity delves too deeply into the unknown. Its yawning entrance, framed by time-worn wooden beams and moss-covered rock, invites curiosity. But for those who dare to enter, it quickly becomes clear that the old homestead mine harbors secrets far darker than any buried treasure. This subterranean abyss is not merely a relic of industrial ambition. It is a place where the line between reality and nightmare blurs, where the air itself seems to pulse with malevolence. The origins of the old homestead mine trace back to 1873, when a group of prospectors stumbled upon a vein of high-grade silver ore while exploring the rugged terrain. News of the discovery spread like wildfire, drawing hundreds of miners to the area in search of wealth. At its peak, the mine employed over 200 workers, who labored day and night in hazardous conditions to extract the precious metal. Yet, for every success story, there were countless tales of tragedy. Cave-ins, explosions, and toxic gases claimed dozens of lives, leaving behind grieving families and unanswered questions. Over time, the mine's reputation grew increasingly ominous, with rumors of cursed veins and restless spirits spreading among the workforce. Despite these warnings, the lure of riches proved irresistible, and the digging continued unabated. What sets the old homestead mine apart from other abandoned mines in the Rocky Mountains is its association with a string of unsolved disappearances. Beginning in the early 1900s, several miners failed to return from their shifts, vanishing without a trace deep within the tunnels. Search parties sent to locate them encountered inexplicable obstacles, collapsing passages, equipment malfunctions, and an oppressive sense of dread that forced them to turn back. Some claimed to hear faint cries for help echoing through the darkness, only to find nothing but empty shafts and piles of rubble. Local folklore adds another layer of intrigue to the mine's haunted reputation. According to legend, The old homestead mine was built atop an ancient burial ground sacred to the Ute tribe, whose ancestors were forcibly displaced by settlers during the mining boom. Elders warned the prospectors that disturbing the land would awaken vengeful spirits, but their pleas went unheeded. Over time, the mine's tragedies were attributed to these angered entities, who supposedly haunt the tunnels to punish those who desecrated their resting place. Some believe the glowing eyes reported by visitors belong to these spirits, watching silently as intruders stumble blindly into their domain. What makes the old homestead mine uniquely terrifying is its ability to evoke primal fears. The sheer isolation of its location amplifies the sense of vulnerability, while its labyrinthine structure creates a disorienting maze that preys on the mind. To descend into its depths is to confront the fragility of human existence and the inevitability of entrapment. Shadows seem to close in, sounds distort unpredictably, and the very walls appear to shift, as though the mine itself is conspiring to keep intruders trapped. It is a place where logic falters and instinct takes hold, leaving visitors questioning whether they will ever see daylight again. For those brave enough to explore, the old homestead mine offers a sobering glimpse into the darker side of human ambition. It challenges us to consider the cost of progress and the scars left behind by unchecked exploitation. As you navigate its haunted tunnels, remember, the darkness you face may not be merely physical. It may be the weight of guilt, grief, and unresolved anger carried by those who came before. And should you hear the faint sound of scratching against stone or feel the brush of icy fingers on your skin, heed the warning. The mine is watching. The mine remembers. And the mine does not forgive. As we draw this first chapter of our haunted journey through the Rocky Mountains to a close, let us pause to reflect on the myriad stories that have unfolded before us. From the spectral halls of the Stanley Hotel to the desolate corridors of the Goldfield Hotel, from the luminous enigma of the Brown Mountain lights to the frozen silence of St. Elmo, and finally to the foreboding depths of the old homestead mine, we have encountered a tapestry of terror woven with threads of history, emotion, and the supernatural. These places are not mere backdrops for ghost stories. They are living monuments to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of memory. They remind us that the past is never truly buried. It breathes, it whispers, and sometimes it screams. This exploration of the Rocky Mountains' haunted heritage is far from over. In part 2 of our series, we will venture even deeper into the shadows, uncovering more chilling tales and forgotten legends. We'll step into places where time seems to stand still and the veil between worlds grows thin. Whether you are a skeptic seeking intrigue or a believer chasing goosebumps, the next installment promises to deliver an unforgettable descent into the unknown. Until then, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, the darkest corners of history often hold the brightest truths. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the haunted heart of the Rocky Mountains. Keep your lanterns lit. We'll see you soon.